order may get cancelled. So you are at a great risk. So you are paying from your nose. But I'm sure once that Red Sea problem is solved, because the ships are going from the Cape of Good Hope, it is taking longer time. Even the sea shipments are getting a lot of changes. And because of that, Turkey, Egypt have stopped their manufacturing, who were supplying to European Union and US. They have stopped making production. So just to answer your question, I think because of these geopolitical reasons, no passage of ships through Red Sea, ships taking long time, containers, and I tell you, 19,000 containers were ordered within India by Indian government, and which order was to be fulfilled 1,000 containers by BHEL, and they have supplied 500. So the capacities are there, but they knew that so much containers will be required because this issue came previously also. So logistically, the cost has gone up because of non-availability of sea shipments, containers, and extra load on air.
Thank you, sir. But we are sitting and thinking what to do. What's the way forward now?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There are, I hope, Reena, something better works out for you. Okay, another question from Arvind Upadhyay. What are the initiatives to develop Indian brands and Indian brands into international brands?
Okay. I think the first and foremost thing which I feel is to take a lesson from the international brands and how they have developed themselves. So first thing is, any brand has to first establish itself into the country of its origin. Like, for example, if you look at it, any brand, it was first, the stores were opened in that country, the stores were multiplied. So I'll take an example of Banana Republic, for example. Now, Banana Republic was first introduced in US. Stores proliferate from one area to another, and there's a lot of news on Banana Republic. And once the Banana Republic gained momentum, then they started flying out of that country. So taking that example, first of all, the brand has to establish in India. So for example, I'll give you an example which is not from apparel, but it is from detergent. Now, you will find many advertisements on television, and you will also see one advertisement from Ghadi detergent. Now, the Ghadi detergent is, people are asking that please sell this brand to us. And they are offering a lot of money to acquire that Ghadi detergent. But the point is they want to remain in the market. And that's the reason they have a long time on television. They can pay good commercial rates. So if Indian brands, and of course, like 4,000 to 5,000 stores Reliance is opening, and I'm sure they will come out with some brand, like they have come out with a brand Geo, so which is now, so they might bring a Geo garment or something. But the point is, more numbers are required. If you meet the size of Inditex, Zara, 6,000 stores. If you look out Uniqlo, 2,000 stores. So we need to reach to those levels. And India, we have lot many opportunity because of big economy. Then we can perhaps go abroad. I think this is how I can comment on that.
Yes, sir.
Sir, may I say something here?
Yes.
If you allow,
Yes, sir.
with your permission.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Vijay, what my point was that, you see, all these international brands are there, they are penetrating, they have already penetrated in our country. They are sourcing from our companies in a very low price, because I have been supplying to so many brands. They are switching for the price like anything. And then when the final product is being sold by them, it is something like maybe sometimes 10 to 20 times higher. to the same market. So this is a serious challenge. This has been a serious challenge for the Indian markets, Indian manufacturers. But I have never seen that really some good initiative or quality initiatives are being taken to develop the brands to the international level. So there is a need, and there is a lot of support is required from the government also. That is what I feel.
So you are correct on your observation, and the markups for the international brands are, if you look at it, a normal brand like Zara, they are 8 times more than what the invoice rates are. So if you are finding a $5 product, it is the selling price is 39 euros or something, and this takes care of all the. So not only we have to penetrate consumers, we need to give service. Now these brands are giving service. Now what service they are giving? They are giving, first they are reaching out to the customers. They are giving them, doles. They are making them member. They are putting a lot of money on publicity, then giving discounts, giving free returns, and then, no question asked on some complaints. Their complaints are addressed. And these things, if manufacturer starts doing that, I'm sure, their value will definitely go up. So I really can't see that I only produce and supply to some brand and ask for a better price without giving those services. Those services are need to be included, sir. I think that's my observation.
Anyway, thank you. We will discuss this on
Yeah.
personal level sometimes else. Thank you
Absolutely,
very much.
absolutely.
Right, sir. So, sir, there's a question related to this. So, what is your outlook for changing behavior in brands in the next few years?
You are asking me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
So, what is your outlook for changing behavior in brands? So, do you suggest the brands need to change their behavior, or is it completely justified what Mr. Upadhyay is saying?
No, brand needs to change dramatically. And I tell you, there is an organization by the name Ethical Trading Initiative. It's a consortium of 23 brands. What they feel that the brands are squeezing the suppliers. One, during the COVID period, they canceled the order, they didn't pay. One. Number two, they are pressurizing the supplier for a delivery which is unthinkable. And the suppliers have to really move everything by doing 24/7. Now look, when Indian supplier works more than 8 hours in order to perform a shipment, it is something, a human right violation. And the brands know this, that if my shipment has to go on 6th of July, this person will not sleep. This person will put a night before. There will be an overtime, isn't it? So without realizing those things, they are putting pressures. And I'm very happy to tell you that on 10th of July, I am having a seminar in ATDC with brands and suppliers, where we are going to ask the brand as to why you are doing these things. And I have got a UK expert on purchasing practices, good responsible purchasing practices, and she's going to ask some of these questions as to why you are pressurizing the suppliers like this. So
Right, sir.
brands need to change. They need to equally be, adopting all those SDGs ethically. I mean, I'm sure they know, you get my message, that brand need to change.
Right, sir. So since you are already talking about how Indian garment exporters could be helped through these challenges, should they align with brands, and in what way can we advise them to do it?
I tell you, I'd like to give an example. I was expecting this question from Madam Nien, from you.
Yes.
Now we have an Indian manufacturer who has 9 units, 7 units in India, 2 units in Indonesia. and they are very much placed in Gurgaon. Now, they are supplying to same buyer from Indian establishment and from Indian Indonesian establishment. In India, they are contracting on per piece basis. For example, $6 a piece, $7 a piece. But in the case of Indonesia, with the same style, their contract is into SAM, Standard Allowed Minutes. And says how many minutes you can make this garment, same style, and we'll pay you 10 cents per minute. So 30 minutes, so 8 into 20, pay you $1.60 something. So when this kind of transaction happens, and when the buyers gives a configuration that I want this style into 1-2-2-1. 1 means extra large, medium, small, and so in this configuration. And when they lay the fabric, and they say, no, my fabric consumption is going very high because my SAM will get disturbed. So even if you can take 2 large, don't take small, I am still ready to give you in a SAM of 20 minutes. So this collaboration with the same buyer is happening with the same exporter in Indonesia, but it's not happening in India. Because I don't care about the wastage of the fabric, I don't care for so many things because my rates are not SAM based. So then the need is at least this particular supplier who operates out of India should also say that I will work on SAM basis. Since you are buying from India, I will charge not 8 cents per minute. In India, perhaps I can charge 12 cents, 13 cents. But then they will start asking these discussions. They will be into then discussions. Then second issue, which is very pertinent, and this applies to all garment exporters. When a buyer gives you a style to make, so first of all, the idea is in how many times your proto sample is approved. Now in India, when I did the survey, the proto samples were approved after average 8 alterations. 8 alterations. Can you imagine? Turkey, Bangladesh, China are doing 1.5 alterations only for the proto sample. Now look a product, for example, there is a tremendous, the weather is very warm in US and they still want some t-shirts in particular area, but they want in 15 days. Now, if I make my proto sample in 7 alterations, even though I am price conscious, my quality is best, I am not getting a chance to supply. Whereas they will not place the orders in India, they will place on Egypt, China, Bangladesh, where they know that 1.5 times perfect sample will come. Now, these are the structural changes which we need to bring in. Otherwise we are perfect. And I tell you, this information, I got it from my daughter who works for an American company sitting in Dubai, and she's responsible for buying $1 billion. And I was asking, look, why don't you source from India? Your father is retired and he can get some commission out of it. Daddy, you make in 7 times, I can't afford to have. So these are some of the challenges we need to bring in. So these 2, I think, examples would suffice my answer.
Right. So, sir, I must now ask you to, all the participants, there are still some questions there, but I would request you to please get in touch with Mathur, sir, for more specific questions. But in the meantime, I'd like to invite some of our experts present here to give their views on today's topic. So, sir, आप अभी आराम से बैठिए. Meantime, Mr. Gopal Bhasin, can I spot you, sir? Okay, can I invite Mr. Gopal Bhasin to give your views? Request you to keep it within 2-3 minutes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Gopal Bhasin, you can unmute yourself, or I can unmute you.
Yeah, I did that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And yes, your video.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Nien. And
Yes,
Vijay Mathur ji has given a very, detailed and articulated, summary of the key challenges which the Indian or even the, other countries are facing with the global, the challenges. But the issue main here is that are the Indian factories prepared to go into the nitty-gritty of implementing those challenges? It's very simple to say that, अरे बाबा, business नहीं आता इंडिया के अंदर, ये मेरी फैक्ट्री को business नहीं मिल रहा. But we are very reluctant to go through these challenges and implement them one by one. So this is a very critical, implement these challenges and then come up to the, world standard. And as Mathur ji is mentioning, if a factory is not able to produce a sample first time right, they are losing the opportunity to get the orders. And besides even these SDGs, one thing which, I would like to point out, the buyers are going to expect, the factories to pay sustainable wages, not minimum wages. Any factory you visit, you ask them, they say, yes, we pay minimum wages. But minimum wages is not going to, sustain a person. And definitely the workforce will like to work in the factory where they pay, sustainable wages rather than minimum wages. So this is a big challenge which Indian factories are going to face. Besides these, SDGs and sustainable wages and the kind of expectation the buyer has for the first time right, or even, not on time delivery. Buyer expect you to deliver before time. People say that this is my delivery date. Sir, I will meet this delivery date. That means you are not making sure that, productions are being done in a very, systematic manner. So last day when you come, you say, sir, now we need another 1 week, 2 weeks, because you are not able to meet. So this is where people have to prepare themselves. They have to adopt new technologies. They have to adopt a new kind of system for, pattern making in the costing, right? Instead of doing manual CAD, they have to go to the automatic CAD system where, the costing can be done in a day rather than in a week. I have seen factories, they are not able to give costing even 2 weeks time, because they have a different, manual kind of processes. So when you go through different kind of, technologies, there are technology available where, by just lining your Excel sheet, in 10 minutes, you can work out your consumption. And same day, you can give your quotation to the customer. These are the kind of challenges which Mathur ji has pointed out are very relevant and,
right.
The industry has to come up to these kind of standards.
Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm going to now call upon Professor Seshadri Ram Kumar. Sir, can you unmute yourself, sir? Professor Ram Kumar is from Texas Tech University and is an authority in technical textiles, cotton, and almost all gamuts of textile field. So, sir, will be honored to hear from you as well.
Well, good evening. I'm not.
Good evening, sir.
I think I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. First, let me thank NISTI. This is the one thing structural change the Indian industry should do. is to disseminate knowledge. And I think NISTI has been doing it. It's early morning for me, but I never miss Saturday mornings. Anyway, so that's a structural change. And I also want to thank Shri Vijay Mathur ji. It's learning. I'm not an authority on all fields, so I'm a learner. So one of the things you said is, Mr. Mathur ji, the thing is, whether there needs to be structural change in the costing or structural change in the performance from bottom up. That means what you talked and Shri Gopal talked about is all the changes inherently one has to do in the industry to deliver before time, to make sure quality expectations are met. But all those involve some cost, which trumps the buyer, whether he's looking for other performance attributes or cost attributes. That's the killer. Okay, if you want 50% reduction in water, I can go for waterless dyeing, but who is going to bell that cat? So what is it? Is it the cost or the performance that's the buyers are requiring? So that also matters. So when you have to compete against Vietnam and Bangladesh and Cambodia, there's other factors involved. Probably you would have touched upon if you have time, the trade agreements. So leaving that aside, whether the cost has to be taken into account or other structural performance changes has to be taken into account, because even a cent, if you are talking about cotton, even a cent per pound can swing the market here and there. So those are the things we have to be very cognizant of in terms of whether I should do something which will squeeze my cost so that the markup, even though the markup is 8 times, I will get some benefit out of it because it's the cost. You see the elections in, yesterday I wrote an article on it. You see the elections in England, it's because of the economy. And it's also because of the Brexit. So that's the important cost. So there needs to be more structural changes from cost-wise without cutting the basic requirements. So that's my 2 cents. And I'm really thankful to you, sir. You have covered the whole 9 yards. And I don't know how to thank Dr. Lal and others at NISTI for putting out each week with these informative and useful webinars. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And lastly, I'd like to invite Dr. Kuldip Sharma ji, a very important member of NISTI. Sir.
Thank you, Mathur Saab. It has been a very, very vibrant and a meaningful presentation. And what I have been thinking right along this, that there are so many riders, so many compliances, and the base of the textile and apparel textile industry in India is mostly from MSME segment. This is quite mind-boggling to see that so many compliances, so many riders by the buyers of the retail houses could be put to this particular segment. I give an example that we have to go with the steam. That's okay, fine, wonderful. And we have to be in the competitive market. When we benchmark ourselves one side on the China side, and then Vietnam, as garments are concerned, the Vietnam and Mauritius and these countries, Bangladesh and etc. But if we look into this aspect of doing it, there's so many riders and the performance of these Indian companies on the stock exchange market, we hardly see a sizable chunk of those companies who have been servicing to the stakeholders and giving contribution to the basket of the stock exchange. And if that doesn't happen in long run, we would hardly see the investment coming into the Indian scenario from overseas and from inside also. It's good to be with the mainstream, but the productivity of the capital and the returns on the capital and the return to the shareholder, the market, this is very making me very gloomy on this subject that how do we do. If you see into the past performance of our Indian companies, good big companies, how much returns they have given to the shareholders in textile industry. So I don't know if anyone can address this concern, or the concern remains as it is and we keep on doing like this, like we have been seeing for the last 4.5 decades in textile industry. Well, over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
I think, Madam, can I make a very quick comment on this?
Please.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I would like to comment in a positive way. Like, for example, if the foreign brands are insisting for such compliances because their society, their customers are pressurizing, because they have laws, they have legislation. Look to a situation with a country with 140 crore people. If our society and customer insist for the same standards, and we have a huge 110 billion US dollar worth of current market, which is going to touch upon 1.8 trillion by 2030. Look what will happen to our SMEs supplying only to India. So I think it is sometime only by the time the Indian consumers and society will be equally demanding as the Europeans and Americans are asking their country. So we need to prepare ourselves. There is no way, perhaps in a long run, and particularly though it is a long way that we'll be carbon neutral by 2070, but the point is we need to even change for our domestic market, which is huge. So there would not be any excuse even for the making for domestic market. So we have a long way to go. And my last comment is that realizing that there's a skill gap in sustainable apparel manufacturing technology, ATDC is coming out with a one-year program from August of this year in our Gurgaon center. So we are ready to have intakes. We have 30 seats, and I'm sure that by the end of next year, around same time, we'll be giving you graduates who will be well equipped as to how to measure energy, how to measure water shortage, how to have wastage control in the factory from door to door. So this is something new that I wanted to give. Thank you, Madam Nien, and thank you, Dr. Lal.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Mr. Mathur, and wish you all the best for the upcoming course. I'd like to really thank you from all of us for having such an insightful, such a specialized subject area. I know for which you have been working on it for years, and years and years of working together, working on such a subject you have delivered in such a short, concise manner. Thank you for that. I'd like to thank all the experts who gave your point of view. They are very valued. I'm sure he's going to just lead Dr. Lal to come up with another webinar on such a thing, and we hope it will happen very soon. I'd like to thank the participants as well for all your questions, and we hope to see you all very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. I would definitely like to say simply excellent for today's presentation of Mathur Saab. He is treasure of knowledge. Any question is not deterring him. He is with full of knowledge for any type of question. So many technical questions were asked today, and he was there to satisfy the participant. So really, we have a very good speaker today, Mathur Saab, in you. And thank you very much. And we are obliged that you have accepted our invitation of benefiting our participants who are connected with NISTI. And we would like to have more glimpse from you, from your experience. You have wide experience, you have wide knowledge, and you have wide exposure. Not only in India, almost all countries in the world, and all activities of APC and now ATDC. Be it all organizing textile fairs, garment fairs, be it leading the delegation of ministers and industries to foreign countries. It's all one. It is full of the basket in one person.
Wonderful.
So thank you, Mathur Saab, and thank you, Kuldip ji. Thank you, Professor Seshadri Ram Kumar. I'm really thankful and obliged that you are not well today. Even then, you did not miss our event and encouraged us, motivated us. What I was telling to Professor Nien, that if your introduction is being given, your accolades are being read here, it will take hours together. Most of the participants will be knowing about you, and those who do not know, they may go through the Google. They may just search Google and they will know about Dr. Ram Kumar. He is a known personality everywhere in the world. And he is in demand everywhere. Almost every year. And he will be, his native town is Tamil Nadu, native state is Tamil Nadu. He is an Indian, but he is very much in demand by USA government and other governments in the world. So thank you, Professor Ram Kumar. You are getting the part of our NISTI webinars every time. I have not seen any occasion you have missed, except for one or two occasions when you may be busy. So thank you very much, and we are honored having you here. Now I would invite Shri N. Vajpayee, Joint Secretary of NISTI, to propose a vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks to all.
Thank you, Dr. Lal, sir. On behalf of NISTI, I am thankful to you who always take pains and do the hard work and arrange such seminar. You have always in taking the pain in the webinars of the NISTI, and getting such a excellent speaker like Vijay Mathur, sir. I'm also thankful to our speaker, Mathur sir, for his insightful presentation and very informative presentation, I can say. I'm also thankful to Professor Nien for beautiful moderation, and I'm thankful to the audience, our dignitaries like Seshadri Ram Kumar sir, Arvind Upadhyay ji, Dr. Kuldip Sharma, and I'm viewing here Shri R.N. Sharma ji and Dr. Devanand Uttam in our audience. And I'm in the last but not the least, I'm thankful to all audience who spare their valuable time and support us in joining the NISTI webinar. Thank you. Thank you all.
A big round of applause to speaker as well as to the audience also, the participants here also.
Thank you. I am sorry that I have skipped mentioning Professor Nien, who is an active member in the executive committee, and she cooperates and takes part in all the activities of NISTI. Today's session has been moderated by her so well. Not only today, she is an expert in that. She is a, what I say, a silver line in our NISTI, I would say. She takes initiatives. She conducts so many workshops and some webinars, seminars. And also she herself initiates the activities and conducts it. I'm very thankful to her. And thank you, Professor Nien, for being a part of NISTI and helping us in all the activities. At last, the presentation of Mr. Mathur will be sent to everybody with a summary of a small report, which is being done every time. And anything is there, any question is left out in answering for the participants, they may write to Joint Secretary NISTI, and then that will be passed on to Shri Mathur ji, and then it will be replied accordingly. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I have one, Madam Nien, I have one concern.
Yes, sir.
On your door, there was a big bag hanging, which is not there.
I know, I took it off because it was looking really shabby. So you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It is a personal room, so there are things everywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Namaskar.
सर गाना भेजिए।